Welcome to Iowa Farm Animal Refuge, located in Chelsea, Iowa. We are a nonprofit organization dedicated to rescuing abandoned, neglected, or unwanted farm animals and providing them with a safe and nurturing forever home. We started this program after finding several animals in our immediate area that were either abandoned and alone or not receiving the attention or aid they needed. With Iowa Farm Animal Refuge, each animal receives food and shelter, medical care, personal affection, social interaction with other animals, and given a strong sense of security. Providing a home for farm animals in need by giving them the chance to live a happy life and by sharing their stories is our primary goal. Currently, we have 11 farm animals, with our story beginning in 2018 with our first edition, Butterscotch. She was a 17-year-old sorrel mare. She was not from a broken home or abandoned, but simply no longer wanted. As time passed, we started thinking we wanted another animal to keep her company, and several people suggested we get a goat. And this is when the real story begins. With a goat we chose to call Baby. We are located on a gravel road about 3 miles out of town. Driving into town, we passed by a property with no house, just a large building and a small shack with a fence around it. We had noticed over time that the owner kept a few goats there, but never thought any more about it. Until one day we drove by in the middle of January with the temperatures in the single digits, and we noticed a goat. We had not seen anyone there for some time and decided to stop. The goat immediately came to the fence and started crying. We looked around to see if she had food and water. There was none. There was a bale of hay, but it was outside her pen, out of her reach, and she had no access to any water source. We gave her both food and water and left a note on her pen asking if she was for sale. We did this for several days in a row with no contact from the owner. We wanted to just take her home, but decided to give the owner a few more days before doing anything. We continued for almost a week, bringing her food and water every day, and finally, on Sunday morning, the owner was there. We simply asked if he wanted to sell her, and he said we could just have her. We put her in the back seat of my truck and never looked back. Our next journey led us to Ernie and Kevin. To tell one of their stories is to tell the others. They both came from the same farm and had been friends. When we came upon them, Kevin was in a fenced-in area next to the barn, a barn he had no access to. There was limited grass and only stale hay for him to eat. He was alone. Ernie had been placed in the pasture area with a few cows, but completely out of sight of Kevin. At first look of Ernie, he appeared to just be a big old goat. It was around dusk, and he was hard to see. When we returned to pick him up in the daylight, I gasped when I got my first good look at him. He was so thin and frail. I don't know how he was even able to stand on his own, but he did. The owner was having difficulty trying to catch Kevin, but when Kevin saw Ernie, he stopped running and came right over to us. We loaded them up and took them away from that place. When we arrived home, we took a better look at Ernie. In addition to being thin, he had abscesses on his back and knees, and his coat was extremely ragged. The next day, we started him on penicillin and grain. Within 2 weeks, his condition improved, and today they are both happy, content, and love being together. With Baby, Ernie, and Kevin now in our lives, it started us thinking there had to be more farm animals out there that were lonely, abused, or abandoned and needed a loving home. We had the perfect property, the ability, and the desire to provide them with such a place. This is how our journey began and how we began our fairy tale endings at Iowa Farm Animal Refuge. Help us continue our stories and donate today. Please check us out at Iowa Farm Animal Refuge on YouTube and subscribe to our channel, like us on Facebook at Iowa Farm Animal Refuge, or check out our website at iowafarmanimalrefuge.com. We look forward to sharing stories of our other animals and introducing new animals as they enter our lives. We run entirely on individual donations, so please help us provide these animals with a strong and loving home by donating today.